It is Wednesday, July 16th. We're going to spend a little time tapping for peace today. Welcome to Wednesdays with Gene. I am the eponymous Gene Monticelli. We get together every Wednesday on YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes we do some tapping like we're going to do today. Sometimes we do some instruction wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for checking in. I already got folks checking in from California, South Carolina, Oregon, more folks in California. Please feel free, say hi in the chat box. Let us know where you are joining us from, wherever you are in the world. As always, one of the things that we like to do when we start out is we just like to take a minute and a half or so, put ourselves into our body. And so, what I want you to do is just take a moment, take a nice big deep breath. And all you're going to do is you're just going to move from tapping point to tapping point. Don't need to say a thing. Just notice what's going on in your system. And when I notice what's going on in my system, I always need to remind myself that I need to go past my hips. I don't want to just scan my upper body and just be present and just tap. Oh, nice big stretch. Maybe shake it off a little bit, grab a sip of water. If there's anything that came up as we were tapping our way through that, make sure you jot that down. I'm never not tapping without a pen and paper nearby. It's good for us. Tail ender shows up, issue shows up, insight shows up. Make sure you're jotting those things down. We don't want to just be tapping. We want to make sure that we're harvesting everything we can from that. We got more folks checking in. We got a whole bunch of folks on the West Coast of North America today. More folks in California, Oregon, British Columbia, folks saying hi in Dallas, in Ireland. Good afternoon to my friends in Europe. So before we jump in, just a couple of quick notes here. Calendar reminder this weekend. Starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We have 24 hours of tapping. We're actually just pausing to tap along with you guys a little bit today as we are working on details. Team has already arrived. We've got so much goodness waiting for you. And then next Wednesday, our Wednesday with Gene, I'm actually going to have Gunilla and Ulf from the Peaceful Heart Network joining us. For them to kind of reflect on the weekend, but also talk about the money that we raised this weekend, how they're going to be investing that in the ways that we're going to create transformation in the world, which is pretty amazing. Just some links to note. Wednesdays with Gene, if you ever want to look at the archive, we've been doing this, we've been doing this for 28 straight weeks. We're here every Wednesday. You can go back, check out the teaching, check out the tapping, just go to Wednesdays with Gene. That will take you there. If you're interested in the Tapping Mastery Academy, we won't spend a lot of time talking about that today. TMA. And then finally, if you have not signed up yet for the 24 hours of tapping, go to 24hoursoftapping.com. In addition to getting all the information about the event this weekend, you'll also be in a situation where you'll get access to the replays after the fact. 24hoursoftapping.com. Some of my favorite tappers from around the world are giving their time this weekend for us to gather and do that goodness. Awesome. So today, I thought it would be appropriate as we were heading into the 24 hours of tapping, that we would just spend some time today doing a little tapping for peace. In the email I sent out about this, I mentioned my buddy Rick Wilkes, who is joining us this weekend, as we talked about this idea of vibrational leadership. And vibrational leadership, the moment he said it, it just like resonated so deeply with me at my core that I immediately got it. That I know what it's like to be around someone who's anxious. I know what it's like to be around someone who's angry. Even if they're not saying that, I can feel it. And at the exact same time, I also know what it's like to be near and be in the presence of someone who is grounded, who is present, who is just transforming what is going on. As I say that, like this just jumped into my head. I think about the first time I had the opportunity with the Peaceful Heart Network to enter in the prison in Muzanze, Rwanda, in the north of Rwanda. And we had a chance to meet with the commandant, the gentleman who was in charge of the facility. And he just had this air of grace and peace and forward thinking and just he was a magical creature is the only way I can describe this man. But his simple presence made a difference. And you could see as he interacted with his staff, as he moved through the facility and was interacting with the inmates, like there was this energetic wake that was trailing behind him that was creating that space. And so that's what we want to do is we just want to spend a little time today doing some tapping so we can find our way to ground and doing that sort of stuff. So the first thing I want to do is just tap on the side of the hand. Everybody take a nice big deep breath. Tap on the collarbone, take another nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact that the way that I move through the world and the way that I feel and the energy that I carry directly impacts those I encounter. And that does not mean I'm responsible for everyone I engage with. But it does help me to recognize that the way I move through the world and the energy I carry is one more way that I can make a difference, that I can create impact, that I can create change. And I give myself permission to be a pebble in a pond that creates ripples. That creates ripples of peace. And I give myself permission to know it is safe for me to be a vibrational leader as a beacon of peace. I am allowed to move through the world in such a way that I can be a ripple of peace. And I recognize the fact that can feel vulnerable. That can feel scary. That can feel dangerous. I give myself permission to know choosing to emanate peace does not mean I am choosing to pick up other people's burdens. It does not mean I am choosing to take responsibility for the things that I am not responsible for. It simply means I recognize, even in small ways, being a beacon of peace makes the world a better place. Nice big deep breath. Stretch and move a little bit. Oh, maybe be good. Ooh, I got one kicking around in there. If there's an insight, if there's something that you heard in that you need to hear again, make sure you go and you jot that down. One of the things that I like to do is I have a little thing called a tapping tracker. And inside of that, not only am I tracking what I'm tapping, but I'm tracking the tail enders and I'm tracking the insights that come. I jot those down because anything that came bubbling up that your soul needs to hear, more than likely it's going to need to hear it again. Anything that you heard that your heart needs to hear today, you're probably going to need it again. And so by just using a little tool like this, jotting those things down, you can go back to them again and again. This is just my version of it. You can download it absolutely free, tappingtracker.com. So, nice easy breath. Again, scan what's going on. And so often, as we think about this idea of being an agent of peace, it's really easy to feel overwhelmed, particularly at this moment in history where so much is going on. Tapping the side of the hand, nice easy breath. And just move from point to point, repeating after me. I recognize the fact that there is a part of me that feels overwhelmed by everything that is happening in the world. There's a part of me that feels so small in the face of everything that is happening in the world. And I give myself permission to know it is okay to feel overwhelmed. And give myself permission to know I am allowed to feel overwhelmed because the world is big and it's really easy to feel small. And there are going to be times or there's a part of me that just wants to hide, that just wants to run away because it all feels like too much. I give myself permission to know, even in the face of everything that is so big, even in the face of all that is going on, I recognize the fact I can and do make a difference. I recognize the fact that my place in the world and how I carry myself can make a difference, does make a difference. And I recognize the fact that I am not alone. I am not the only one. There are legions more, just like me, in simple, small ways, making a difference. I give myself permission to know, in the face of all of this, I am allowed to act in imperfect ways, which can and will make a difference. Nice, easy breath. Again, big stretch, move around. Ugh. If there are yawns there, let them come. Oh, yawns oftentimes come with water pouring out of my eyes. Mm, mm, mm. Again, what came bubbling up? Jot the ideas down. Maybe there was a small action you thought of. Maybe there was someone you thought about you could connect with. Just tune into that and give yourself permission to be present to that. Hopefully the mute button worked there. Sorry about that. Now let's move from point to point. I recognize the fact that being a beacon of peace sometimes requires courage. That being a beacon of peace sometimes requires me to show up in new and different ways. I give myself permission to know that courage does not necessarily mean grand. Courage doesn't necessarily mean bold strokes. Instead, it means simply being fully in the moment, being open and present, and the desire to be a peacemaker. I give myself permission to embrace the role, to be a vibrational leader for peace, to welcome and connect with my internal resources and tools, which can help me to make a difference as a peacemaker. I give myself permission to be fully present, knowing that how I am in the moment will make a difference in my world, which is the world. The simple, small ways that I show up as a peacemaker makes the world better for everyone. And I give myself permission to feel connected, to feel engaged, and to not feel alone. Nice, easy, deep breath. Stretch and move. Oh, mm. We got lots and lots and lots of clearing going on. I hope you're experiencing the exact same thing. So just take a nice, easy, deep breath. Just put your hand on your heart and just recognize for a moment how connected we all are. Not just those of us who are gathered here now live or watching the replay after the fact, but just recognize that connection and just feel yourself, just for a moment, just being a beacon of peace. And as that peace and love extends from the beacon that is you, know that it's only going to go to the places that is useful. It's only going to go to the places that are helpful and receptive. There's so many places that are craving for our peace, and just share it. Excellent. Big stretch. I hope you enjoyed that 20 plus minutes of tapping that we just did right there. Beautiful thing is, the moment we end, you can go back and you can watch the replay. It'll be sitting there for you. Just a couple of quick footnotes for you. We got the Tapping Q&A podcast. We show up every single week and share some great content with you. Just go to tapping podcast.com. 24 hours of tapping. It's happened this weekend. Sign up, sign up. Invite your friends, invite your enemies, invite your arch nemesis, invite your barber, invite anybody you know. The more we have, the merrier. It's awesome. 24hoursoftapping.com. It's a free event. And finally, we are here every single Wednesday. If you go to Wednesdays with Gene, you can actually see the entire archive. We've been doing these live every single Wednesday since December, and we're going to be here for the rest of the year. So please come back and join us next week. For those of you hanging out, thanks so much for hanging out today. I can't wait to see you guys on Friday and Saturday for the 24 hours of tapping. We have so much good stuff going on between here and there. We have a mountain of to-dos that we need to get ready for you guys, but we can't wait to see you then. If you're watching this after the fact, on the screen right now, you can see playlist of all of the previous episodes of this. Wherever you are in the world, have an awesome Wednesday, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.